Hey y'all, it's Susan with Susan's Country Live. I'm out here in the garden today getting some tomatoes and some peppers into the ground, and I want to show you how I plant through this um, landscape fabric. What I have is a little blowtorch that I got off Amazon, and I bought a little can butane or propane or whatever it is, lighter fluid to fill it. So I use that. I've had a bulb auger for years, but it had such a long handle, I can't really, you have to stand up to use it. So I found this at my local Ace Hardware, and it fits on my little rechargeable drill, and it's just the perfect size for making my holes or digging in the holes that I'm putting in the fabric. So for planting tomatoes, what I do is I try to plant them a little deeper. So I'm going to pinch off these bottom leaves. This is a Juliet. This is kind of a larger grape tomato, and this will produce, and the fruit can stay on the vine for a very long time. It even falls on the ground and can be there for days and still be good because it does have a thicker skin. They have a wonderful taste. You can pretty much do anything with them. They're multi-purpose. You can can them. You can cook with them. You can put them in salads. And this is what they look like. And they're about, they're oval shaped, and pretty good size. And I've had plants produce all the way into November. It sets through the summer, the blossoms, high humidity, high heat, doesn't matter. So I'm going to show you how I plant my tomatoes through this fabric. So I've planted my tomatoes. I've already got a lot of them in already, and a lot of them over there. I plant them 3 feet apart. So I've made my little hole there, and I'm just going to come around and burn a hole about that large. Usually I hold it closer down, but I wanted y'all to see what I was doing. And I take this and I'll put it in my little tray over here, because I'm putting them in that little wagon there. Now we've had some rain, so the ground is wet, and it's a little more difficult to get through this wet ground. And so I just have my my auger here. It's going to be hard with the sun because it is so bright, so I'm just going to try to get it to where you can kind of see. But I don't, I just kind of in and out just a little bit, kind of loosen it up. There. Whoop. And if it does that, you just back it up and keep on going. Back it up, and then I will pull some of that dirt out up onto this fabric here. Like I said, it is wet, which is good because I'm not going to have to worry about watering just a whole lot there. And I just keep going. Back and forth, just like that. Kind of go at an angle, kind of make, loosen up that ground. This is much easier than using a shovel because I want to loosen the soil there. You can see I'm getting deeper now and not bogging down. So pull some of that soil out here. And I want to kind of check. I want to bury this deeper because I want roots to form along this. Usually I used to plant them, I would lay them sideways and let the sun turn them up, and then I would plant them in a ditch there. But with this fabric, I can't do that. There.
The hairband.
A hairband? Who knows what you'll find? Rocks, We find toys. This used to be the people who built this house. This was their burn pile. I found just all sorts of things, pieces of crockery and dishes and bottles, and really neat. So I have them all in a container. Okay, so that's pretty deep there, and I'll be able to put some soil up here. I'm sorry, I'm having to hold this. Put some soil up around that stem, but I'm going to loosen it because I need to put something in the bottom of the hole. I'm going to loosen a little deeper. And what I'm going to use is some Epsom salts. The magnesium helps the plant take up the nutrients, so I'm going to sprinkle, about a teaspoon down in there. And then I have Tomatoes Alive from Gardens Alive. I've used this for years, and I've tried different things. This is always my go-to. I always come back to this. Use it for peppers, eggplants, any kind of flowering plant. I put about 3 tablespoons, about a handful down in there, and I mix it. Mix it. Okay. So I have my plant, and I'm going to put my plant down in that hole there. And just put that right back in there. This plant, it's just amazing amount of fruit that it produces, and how much I've given away over the years. And or let the birds have, because they are just, let the chickens, if they fall on the ground and a bug gets them, feed them to the chickens. You can pick them even green and they'll continue to ripen inside. Even if they fall off green, they'll continue to ripen. So I'm trying to get to the edge of that fabric there, get all that in there. If you have cutworms in your area, that's a problem, and sometimes I do. I've taken an iron nail and just put it right next to the stem down into the ground, and if a cutworm wraps itself around to cut that stem, it can't do it because of that iron nail. And I've done that before because I have come out and just had my tomatoes cut off by those cutworms. So, but working, we put this on last fall, and I've not seen any grub worms. I've only seen earthworms, no cutworms, no other larvae. It may be a little early. Kind of taking a chance putting these out. It is March 19th, and usually by now, we can start putting a lot out even earlier than that, but there's always a possibility that it will freeze. The pecan trees have not budded out. That's kind of our sign. And we had our last frost date was the 10th, but we had frost after that. So that's kind of a sign to me that, hey, maybe we need to hold off on some of the more tender vegetables. I can protect these. My husband took some 5-gallon buckets that hold chlorine tabs and stuff like that they use where he works, and he cuts the bottom out for me, and I put that white bucket around this, and I put a piece of rebarb in the ground to support that bucket to keep it from tumbling over. And it's like a little greenhouse. It reflects that light down in there around the tomato plant, and they just grow so much faster. Also, what I've done is, you can see that little basil plant right there. But I have 2 tomato plants planted there. I have a pineapple, which is a kind of a orangish yellow, and then I have a jet star, which I've not tried before, but I have one down there, and I've put a little basil. Basils are companion plants, and when the tomatoes are gone, and I pull those plants up, those basils will still be there growing until freeze. Right here where these green things are is going to be my cucumber arch. I'm going to have 2 fence lines and then an arch over it so I can come underneath, and then even in the fall I can start my fall tomatoes underneath. Oh, he just threw me some grub worms for the chickens. There it is right there. They are huge. He's cleaning out the compost pile. These will eat your roots of your grass. These are beetle larvae. Okay, here I've planted 3 rows of okra. They've not come up yet. So we've got a Keystone resistant. This is a giant green bell pepper. And we've got, this is a yellow bell pepper. And we have a red sweet bell pepper and a purple. Now, of course, they're all green, but they'll turn different colors. I have my Tam jalapeno, which is a mild jalapeno. Now, this is one new I got. It's called Mardi Gras Fun Pepper. Got this at Enchanted Gardens. Produced sweet, snackable peppers. So I'm hoping these are like those bags of multicolored peppers you buy at the grocery store. I pinched a blossom off that was blooming because I want it to produce roots, strong root system. So, and then this one is a mariachi. This is a new one. I got this at Enchanted Gardens. They have, if you're local, mildly hot. Ivory fruit ripens from orange to red. This does great in pots. So we'll go try that one out. Looks pretty. And I may use that in some salsas if it's mildly hot. And over here I have my Paul Robeson. It is, let me show you what it looks like. Paul Robeson. I've planted some seeds of these too. It's a beefsteak. They do 6 to 12 ounce, but it is a beautiful, looks like a Cherokee purple. Maybe not as purple, it has those green shoulders. But it has the same flavor, similar flavor. A black creme. That's a dark purple, and then my little Cherokee purple there. And if we don't get gobs and gobs of rain, I won't have the cracking problem, but I've experienced a lot of that. And we have a Black Beauty eggplant. That's your big standard eggplant you'll see at the grocery. And then this one, my little heat's kind of getting to those little leaves on the bottom. Millionaire, and it's a long purple eggplant. I've got some other eggplants inside that I've sprouted. Turkish, which is a red eggplant for pickling. I'm going to try that. And more Black Beauties. So I can maybe sell those at the farmer's market. So still got a lot of room for planting. We've got squash and beans and butter beans and peas and oh, what else? Got my cucumbers to go in. Boston pickler is what I use for my pickles. Some butternut squash, watermelon, cantaloupe. Yeah, I got a lot. Still got a lot to do. And there's my pecan tree. Still no buds. So kind of leery on planting too many things that I can't protect. So I hope you're having a great gardening season. I know some of you live further north and y'all are just starting seeds. So by the time y'all are harvesting, we're done. And staying inside and staying out of the heat. There's a bearded bee man. He's working today in the compost. He's putting a lot of compost around the fruit trees today. Some of them are blooming. Pears aren't blooming yet, but the peaches are. Got an Asian pear and a Kiefer pear. And I've had those maybe 3 years. They were just sticks. I ordered them online. They've really grown, so I'm hoping maybe I'll get a little bit of fruit this year. So, hope y'all have a good gardening season. I got to get inside and fix some lunch. Bye, y'all.